right, we got a game started. I've started to move. I'm going to just set this up. And we're going to stream. On my other account, I've basically been playing really bad on my other account. So I've actually lost several games in a row that I shouldn't have lost. I basically had the game won and then I lost. So I'll be playing that other account back up. I'm probably gonna try to reach 2 or 3 Dan on it, but like it's way down right now. So we will actually see what actually is happening there. Um, there we go. And we are on, I believe. Yes. All right. Low approach. Low approach. I could kick. That would give me the Sente, but I think I'm going to pincer. I think I'm like getting more and more used to the sequences. I think for me to really improve, I really need to like study the starting sequences right now. That is the expected move. That's right. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. That's okay, I guess, but I think the better move is to pincer out here still. I still think the better move is actually to pincer like out here. Go up. Yeah, there is a thing out there, but I don't think that works. I'm just going to jump out. And here, like, black doesn't get enough for what white gets. I mean, you can build up your Moyo out there, but it's just like I don't understand why you would do this. Like, this influence doesn't get you anything, so at this point I definitely have an advantage over him. And that basically just gives me another Sente while not giving him too much. He isn't going to be able to threaten me down here, so I'm just going to approach this way. And there is still this in the corner. Kick out first and go down here. No, I definitely should have jumped there. Hello everyone that's watching. Kind of late on I think I only have time for one game today, unfortunately. Yeah, it definitely went up, but it's another thing altogether. I have more ways to deal with this in a while. He owes a move right there, so yes, he can do that. He's going to take the corner, but then I'm going to do this. And take these points down here. It's not bad. I'm going to go this way. He's going to try to get that in there. It's perfectly fine. But there's not that much over here. That's kind of troublesome for him, actually. That is kind of troublesome for him. Okay, what do I do here? Is that like mission accomplished just by doing that? Not really sure. I don't know if that was a good move or not. Might have been better off just going on the lower end and then depleting that. Oh wait, that was not good. Whoops. That's not good. Don't want to run that out. All right, so he actually has a Moyo up here that I have to kill. It's not too hard to kill that. It's really not. This might be a little too far in, but we'll see. It's not a good move for him. That's not that. There's really not any points in there. He's given up a lot on these sides. Yeah, see, that's just not something I really have to answer. I don't know what the biggest thing is right now. I could clear this corner. I think that would be pretty big. Yeah, there's not too many points right there. I really don't think I have to do anything up here. I'm going to... That's not that big either, but I don't really want him to invade there. I'm just going to do this. No, that's fine. There's no points here. So he's going to use the forcing move there. But that's not really a big issue for me because I can jump this way as well. And this group's not really under any threat, so... Yeah, there's no threat on this group right here. There's no real threat anyways. Just basically come back over. These aren't good moves. They're making me a lot stronger. Yes. There's not much you can do on this one. Okay. Just trying to get all of that. Which I don't think is actually that much. It does make it a little bit harder to actually invade, though. I don't think I could actually live here if I invaded. It's probably not the best move in the world, but... One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do this. If I do this, interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or I could do this and just take these 2 stones, and that'd easily be enough to win. Do I go for the risky move? Or that? No, I'm just going to do this. I didn't feel like calculating that out. There's some like transformations in there, but doing this is easily enough to win. So we're going to do that. Yeah, I don't have time today, you don't. I don't actually have time today, but I can play with. I will play with like catch. You have to catch me sometime else. I don't really have time today. I can only play and review this game today, unfortunately. Um, but later on, yes, I will. I will be able to play and review. I don't think there's any way he can actually kill me here. So I think I will be okay. Okay, so there's an actual move thing here. Solves my problem. Okay, that's useless. Um, that's not really like a Sente. That's not really Sente, so I can just do this. Oh wait, there's another move that's actually pretty big. I actually need to address that. I definitely need to address that. There's several moves that are quite big that I need to address. There are many moves in here that I actually need to address. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and do this because this is actually fairly large. I don't actually want to play the Ko with him, so I'm gonna do that. This is pretty big. It destroys all his points in here. That isn't all that big. I don't know. That's not that many points. It's, I think a lot of misplays and giving me a lot of Sentes is kind of like really a big problem for lower SDK players. With like players of similar rank, I can't really. With players of similar rank, I really can't get the Sentes. Like, but with players of lower rank, like they do give me a lot of Sentes, so I get a huge advantage over them. Like in the closing game, like I can gain 15 to 20 points in the closing game. My closing game has gotten quite a little bit better since I've really started to follow, since I started to play the AI. That is the one part of my game that the AI makes significantly better. The other parts of the game, it doesn't really help like a huge amount because people try to play like the AI, but they kind of fail at playing like the AI. Like people try really, really hard at playing like the AI, but they don't really succeed at playing like the AI. And the reason they don't succeed at playing like the AI is because they can't calculate like 40 moves in advance, which uh, realistically I can't really do either. I mean, no one really can. That's why the AI is better than humans. There's two ways to play this. Your corner is actually like the black corner is pretty much alive, so you can save those two stones without any real problems, or you can just sacrifice those two stones and connect the corner. Of course, if he sacrificed those two stones right now, I probably wouldn't take them at this point. Either way, I'm up by a lot of points at this point, so if he runs out of time, he like runs out of time. It's not a big deal.
You have won.
All right, timeout. I'm up by like 30 points, so pretty not that bloody of a game. I didn't play excessively well. Yes, this move is very, very large, if you're wondering, because I do have a few problems here. I can't let him Hane here, so if he does that, I would probably have to connect. So that is actually like the biggest move right now. So let's actually go back and review this game. Same thing. Good start, pincer, and that. So the right move is to go up top and threaten this stone. So the thing is, like, when you trade me this side, you have to get something out of it, and you want to build influence and threaten the stone by playing here. Playing here loses a couple points. I'm just going to go over here. Obviously, that's not the best. Like, I should fly up here to have this head stick out, but I guess I wanted both sides, so I do this. He does this. That's right. He does. That's a really bad move. You can't let me Hane out. Like, the whole point of playing this stone is to actually get the lower pincer and force me to do this. Like, the whole point of playing this is forcing me to live in this small space down here while you build up your Moyo up here. That's the whole point of like playing this particular move. So letting me Hane out, or letting me either Hane out or Knights move out is going to be very, very bad. So I Hane out, I do this, he does that. This is bigger than this. So, but I wanted to get the head out. But the thing is, like, here, you don't want to fix this. I can't really, yeah, the shape looks bad. The shape does look kind of bad, but I can't really, like, I honestly can't really kill you here. So you don't really need to, I need to block this. You don't really need to worry too much about this here. I guess I can threaten this, but there's a lot of, I mean, like, I probably can't kill this. This looks pretty bad for white, but the corner, honestly, is a little bit bigger, and you don't have to play this way, obviously. You can just choose to ladder me. You can honestly just choose to ladder me and let me get these two stones. I mean, that's another option. It's probably not a great option, but yeah, like, generally I'm not, or, you know, the thing is, like, you could just let me have that or something. It's not, I still think, like, this is probably, like, the correct play, I would say. I mean, I don't know what the correct play is here. It might honestly be this. It might honestly be this. And jumping out here and then, like, trying to escape these. I'm not exactly sure. But, like, that corner is just going to be a little bigger than fixing these, because you're giving up, you're honestly giving up, like, way too much Sente already. You're giving up a little too much Sente already, and then, like, sticking back here it does fix this issue, but it just gives up way too much Sente. And I make the mistake here of jumping too. But this one isn't as grievous because it does actually poke the head out and reduce the Moyo over here. But I should have just invaded the corner. I do that. And as you can see here, I'm already up by like 6 points at this point just with this exchange. So because, like, I got both sides and then black didn't really get much except for this, it's much, much better for white. He does that, he does this, which doesn't make that much sense in this terms, because I already have this coming out. I should have done this, but I went with the lower thing. Hane it up. And this is a bad move because think about what you're getting with this move. You're not threatening my group here. And there's a total of maybe like 8 points here. So you're maximum getting 8 points. And the thing is, if I Hane here, you still can't really do anything. That is the problem. If I Hane here, like, there's really no points in here. So this is not that great because it's not a strong move and there's not that many points here. Of course, I'm going to approach the corner. I mean, invading the 3-3 is the best thing, but I'm going to approach the corner. He's going to do that. I'm going to do this. And then, yeah, like I said, this was better than this, but I chose a safer one. And of course, he does the 3-space extension. I invade the corner here. So after all these exchanges, I'm up by about 10 points already. Of course, I made some mistakes, but he made more grievous mistakes, especially here. And then trading this Joseki and letting me get this corner is another small advantage for me. He does that, which secures the corner. I should have done this just to kind of like depress the Moyo, but I actually invaded, which isn't too bad of a move. He went up top. I do this. He covers. I should have actually done this, I guess. Just went back immediately and not let him get the full cover on top, but I do this. And this is the right move to do. Then like you just kind of like let me take this side and fight over here. But this is actually a pretty tough thing to gauge because there are a lot of cutting points here. But yeah, going down there is the right move because I'm actually in a tough position as well. And if you fight this right, it's not too bad for you. So he connects. I'm going to Hane back. And at this point, you just leave this be and go somewhere else. Because finishing this sequence just makes me more solid, and it doesn't really get you all that much. And then going here, this is okay. And yes, like this side is going to be a little bigger because it expands both our like influence moyos. So I'm going to do the easy pincer here to counter this. He does that, which isn't really all that useful right now, especially if you connect. Like the thing is, if you do this, you don't connect this. You do. If you're black, you don't connect this. You go elsewhere because it doesn't matter which way I go. You would just Hane the other way. Like here, you would do this. If I Atari here, you go this way. So that's actually what you would do. So you don't, after a situation like this, the whole point of these moves is to put a couple of stones here to build a little bit of a wall, and then like get a Sente to move elsewhere. That's actually the purposeful intent of that move. Kind of like giving me Gote here doesn't really make any sense. And because of that, he just fell behind by 4 more points. I invade here. This was not a very good move. Because this is an easy answer right now, so I kind of just let it be. I did this by itself, and here, like, you know, they're just telling you to basically do this move to reduce the points over here and build up your Moyo here, because there's actually a lot of usage moves here that you can actually do, and this is the exact sequence that you're supposed to do them in. So like and then I have to connect, right? So now look at this result. Look at this result compared to the one he got. He has this entire thing right here. Like this is a huge Moyo, and it's very like if he Hanes, I would have to come out because if he Hanes here, he gets even more. And if I go here, then you can easily do this and try to work up like this this territory right here. So that's actually how you're supposed to build a Moyo. You already built it on this side. I made a mistake of going here, but like you already built it on this side. So now you have to build it on this side. So that's why like moves like this are so deadly. That's why a sequence like this you have to learn if you want to build up Moyos, because it's Sente for you, and then like you do this, threatening the Hane here. I mean, I probably would do something like that, but you know, here you have so much more potential for territory. Even if I take this, you have so much more potential for territory. You have so much more potential for territory here than you would actually have elsewhere. I can't connect because there's that. But yeah, you have like so much potential for territory here than what he actually came out with, because this is like an easy way to build up this side. So my going here is a mistake. Him connecting is a mistake because that really doesn't need to be answered. And then that's not a good move. I should just jump up here because this actually increases the number of points I have down here too. This basically is not a very good move. You could, like here, you could still do this. It'd be a different variation now. But here you could definitely still do this. And and probably break my territory down here because I wouldn't want to play that since I already have this move here. So this is a bad move because you actually answering here basically means like you confined yourself to basically like playing all these stones for like 5 or 6 points. So you don't really want to do something like that. I jump here. I mean, I still should have done this, but I jump here, and that move, like this particular move, doesn't really make all that much sense. There's very little threat to your stones here. There's not really a way for me to threaten your stones here. I don't know if he's afraid of this, because that would kind of put me in a really tough spot, and I wouldn't want that. This isn't really much of a thing because there's not like that much I can do there. I mean, that would just end up with me being dead. So that doesn't really make any sense. That really doesn't make much sense for me to play. So this isn't really all that valuable. I'm going to do this. I want to solidify the corner. He does this, but letting me go over top, like if you play this, you probably, like if you play this way, you probably have to Hane this. Just saying, you most likely have to Hane that. I don't actually know how that actually comes out. I mean, I don't think, yeah, this doesn't work for me because I think I just die here. So I wouldn't be able to do that. So you probably would Hane out. And it's still telling you to like shore up this side first. Because if this side is extremely solid, my 3 stones become a lot lonelier then. So I do this. I'm going to jump. I'm going to do this. I'm actually going to do this because I'm going to solidify this. And then like it wants you to come on top because that's probably Sente forcing me to go this way or that way. But I already have all these points and now I'm already up by 20. He tries to cut me off, but I'm going to extend the 2 space here. This is easily the best move because if you do this, you do kind of like build your moyo here. So you cut me off, but the thing is, like, it's really hard to kill this group in here. It really is. I do this. This is a pretty typical move, like a classic move to test where I'm actually going to go here. And if I connect here, then black can like jump here or something and form this territory while attacking this because it's not quite alive yet. So that's kind of like a test move. White would not actually play here. White could jump over here. White could play like a variety of moves instead of just connecting, because connecting would actually be a pretty bad move. But he doesn't do that move. He jumps here. I jump here. He does that. He does that. I basically connect back here. These moves are not good. They just make me stronger. They realistically make me stronger. I just do that. And then he does that. This is the biggest move right now. I just come up, form my territory. Like, even if you get all this territory, black has nowhere near the points to win. I'm still up by like 20 points. But I'm going to do this to see what he does. Then I'm going to do that. He does that. This is like pretty classic. This is also really big because it's generally Sente for black. So that's actually really big. So you can always play this first before you do anything. I absolutely have to answer that. Because if I don't, this group is like dead. So yeah. So at this point, like if you see a big Sente move, you got to take the big Sente move. So he does that. I'm going to cut here. That's a really bad move because like even if I extend, I should have just extended there. I should have just actually extended there, but I basically do this, and you could do this. I would probably do that, and something like that, I guess. There is like this thing, which actually would put me in a fairly tough position, I guess. But not really, because I have this push out here. But I would still need to make one more liberty down here somehow. Because if you do this, I'm short by 1. So there is that. I was actually looking at that, and I would have actually had the thought, like, how am I going to fight this if I do that? But he didn't give me that question. He just took. I Atari'd. and then I came down. I did this. So he does that. Yeah, I should have just killed this. But I did this. You know, like there's always this move that I was actually looking at as well, because that actually does extend his liberties by 1. So this is why, like, when black does something like this, you definitely want to just kill right now, because this move does actually extend black's liberties by 1, and that actually is more than white has now. So he made some pretty big mistakes in here. So I do this, he does this, I do this, he disconnects, and now I get these 2 stones. Now, the realistic outcome of this fight is that if I play this right, I would get these 2 stones, but I made several mistakes. Like here, if I just went there, I would grab the 2 stones. But we both made a couple of mistakes here. It ended up with me getting these 2 stones. So like this kind of like situation here, definitely both of us could actually do better. Then he does actually the wrong side. I should have just flown in here. But I did actually end up blocking that. He does do that. I do that. He does that. I should have actually just done this to break some territory over here. But I'm going to do this first. He does that, and I'm going to take these stones. So there is this. Actually, no, I guess there's not, because there's like the double Atari here. Never mind. So I actually fixed that for nothing later on. This is a bad move right now, because there's a lot of big moves right now, and this is Gote, so I don't have to answer this. So by doing this, you're losing a lot of points. I extend up here because if you don't answer, I have this in here. But right now, the biggest move is still over there. So he does that, which is kind of weird at this point because there's not that many points here. I do this, he does that, I connect. And then this, I don't understand this move because you don't really get much here. I mean, like, this is like 3 points. So all those moves like basically solidify my corner, and you got 3 points. So that didn't really make all that much sense to me. I do this. You don't need to answer this because there's nothing I can do here. The most I can do is Atari here. Then you connect. You should definitely do something like this. I would have to do this. And you're asking me like, why can't I just, you're probably asking like, why can't you just, like kill him? But the problem is like, the problem with that is there is a lot of like Aji here if I attempt to do something like that. I guess this wouldn't work, but I don't know. I'm not really sure about this, but this honestly just doesn't feel clean to me. This honestly doesn't really feel that clean to me. And I would probably do this as well, which is what the AI recommends. I don't exactly know what's in here, but I would definitely do this as well. I mean, I still get that stone in the end, but it's like Sente for you to get this move, and that's actually worth a lot. It's actually worth a lot. So if I were black, I wouldn't play here because I think that's an overstretch by me. I would actually play here. And that's actually really big because it destroys quite a few of my points. Like if you don't play here, I would actually play here. And that's like, you can see there's a big change of points. Plus you don't get any points here and I get some points there. So that would actually I would actually play something like, I would definitely play something like this instead of this because I can't completely calculate that right. Either ways, he does this, and then I do this, and then that's where he times out, and the game ends. But here, you could just connect, because at this point, I would probably just play this. I wouldn't bother taking the 2 stones. The 2 stones are not worth that many points, and I think this is actually bigger. So at this point, I'm up by like 23, 24 points, and the other big moves here are outside of like, here, you also have this move, which is like fairly large because that does actually, it's kind of like Sente all the way across. So I guess you have that move and a couple of others, but he is behind by a lot of points here. because like he didn't actually make use of these sentes to actually block off the side to get the big territory in the middle, and he's messed up a little bit in this corner here, which actually put me ahead by like 20-30 points. So like this was like kind of like a game where there wasn't really that much fighting, but there's a lot of like little technical details, like how to handle these cutting points over here, and that like moving clumping a lot of stones here wasn't really worth that much, and how I got a pretty big advantage just playing this side over here. Remember, because like about a third of my advantage actually came from just this sequence in the beginning, and while like the sequence over here was pretty wrong. So hope you learned something from this. Hope you learned something from this. Please like and subscribe. Hit the bell notifications button, and I will see you guys later. Yeah, fifth line shoulder hits I generally don't like, but there are certain situations, as we've seen in the AI game, where they're actually really good. But generally, I avoid fifth line shoulder hits. So I only have time for this game today. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button, and I will actually see you guys later.